Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here from home, live here on Facebook, where we take a look at news and headlines from our city, state, and country. We take a look at what you bring to the table by way of comments, ideas, suggestions, topics that affect your life as a community of English-speaking locals living here in Puerto Vallarta. It is a pleasure to see you. Today is Saturday, August 17, and life at Casa Chaos, which is what I call my home, is coming back to normal now that internet is back and working, which is a really, really good thing. Yes. I took the afternoon off yesterday just to get my bearings, and today is going to be all about cleaning the house and putting things in order and so forth and so on. Now, let us remember that 2 days ago, yes, that's where I'm going. 2 days ago, I was sitting at the Joint Boutique Hotel doing my broadcast and thinking to myself, well, I don't know if Telmex is going to show up on Friday. If they don't show up on Friday, I'm going to go to their office on Saturday and make a big stink. So I might as well, do some pre-recorded content just in case I have to pre-record Saturday morning. But as it turns out, this was not necessary. I still went out and got the content, and I'm going to share it with you. And we are going to take a look at some new improvements on the Malecón. We're going to do a little bit of people watching, and we're going to take a close look at the Malecón letters, and I'm going to show you how it went. But first, let us take a quick look at the weather. We're not going to have any news today. Everything that I found is important but can wait until Monday. So we're taking a shameless news break today. Now, looking at our weather, that cloud looks like David Hasselhoff eating a cheeseburger. Well, we have talked about that cloud before. It is 28 degrees out there. Humidity is at 74%. And our weather forecast for today says overcast skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of only 37%. And boom, boom, we have a high temperature of 33 and a low temperature of 24. And tomorrow, Sunday, mostly clear skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a high of 32 and a low of 24. And then Monday, overcast skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 75%, a high of 31 and a low of 75. Let me get myself back on the main screen and wonder, interesting. Somebody said that we are looking a little grainy. I saw a comment went by, and I don't know why we're looking grainy. Ooh. So if anybody else has a report of questionable... there you go. Bill says, broadcast kind of grainy and blurry this morning. I don't know why that is. There's nothing wrong at my end. But just in case, as we're getting used to being back here, if anybody else has a report on the quality of audio or video, I would appreciate it. And I think there's an interesting question. Oh, yes. So we're going to have interesting questions later on. But first, as I mentioned, let us take a look, if you want, I hope you want, we're going to take a look at the footage that I captured 2 days ago after my broadcast from the Joint Hotel, which I put together just in case we had to pre-record today. So here we go. Well, as you can see, I'm standing on the Río Cuale Bridge, looking at Insurgentes Street. Here's the Joint Hotel, my home away from home. This is where I've been broadcasting all this week and last week and the week before. But this is also the place where I do my music appreciation presentations. So what I figured I would do today is walk down to the ocean and see what's going on with the pedestrian bridge, whether it has been fixed or not, because we've been talking about it. So we might as well take a look over there and see what's going on. Now, I could have walked down the Río Cuale, but I chose to walk down 5 de Febrero to show you that this ginormous construction at the corner of 5 de Febrero and Constitución is still going on. I don't know much about the building, and I probably don't want to know much about it either. Almost at the corner with Ignacio de Vallarta, this used to be the legendary No Way Jose. And then it became Okay Jose, and then it closed. No more. But you know what? Directly under there is the Burning Burrito, and the Burning Burrito is a great place to get food and cocktails. I always stop there before my music appreciation presentations to grab a little bite, and they are super friendly and super fun. Now, one of the things that I have noticed in the past week or two, as I've been coming into town pretty much on a daily basis, is the increase in vehicular traffic. And I check with taxi drivers and Uber drivers whether it is expected, unexpected, and everything seems to indicate that there are simply more vehicles out now. And this is not even a time in which school is in session. But one thing that you want to know is that it's not a sleepy town, and even during the time in which there's no school in session, there's a lot of traffic. So once school comes back in September and parents have to drop off their children in schools all over the city, traffic is going to become even more considerable. Animo! I'm continuing my way to the beach and just checking to see if I see anything different here and there. And I'm gonna stop filming because I'm hand-holding my camera. Hang in there. Well, what do you know? They seem to have opened the way because I see a lot of people walking in that general direction. I don't want to be disappointed. Maybe I should just walk all the way over there and see what's going on. Well, the good news is that the bridge has been reopened to the public. They're still working on it, but at least you can walk through it. The new flooring is pretty basic, which is just as well because people are not going to slip here. I've taken a second to sit down on a bench that has metal beams, and I don't recommend doing this in the summer months because my butt is getting fried. But I'm going to continue walking north and show you all kinds of things that I'm seeing around here. Now look at the size of that tree trunk down there. I don't know how long that's been here, but this could not have been put there. This clearly was carried by the current of the Cuale to its location, but it's huge. That is just crazy. There are city workers everywhere, and there's a clear sign that the city is trying to improve the Malecón, and I'm sure we will see more signs of this as we continue walking north. Now here's a location where at some point there used to be a sculpture of Mexican golf player Lorena Herrera. We don't know why they decided to honor her with a sculpture, and we don't know what happened with the sculpture after it became damaged. And it was removed. And this spot remained without a sculpture for a long time, and now the city seems to be doing something inside. I don't know that we'll be able to see it from the other side. Let's go check it out. Aha. Okay. So the city is just fixing. But, you know, given the fact that we're in the middle of the summer and it's really hot, there's still a bunch of people out there, which is nice. And I had nothing to say about these guys, but I was standing there and it was so hot. That I figured I'm just going to take this footage just because this looks like fun. Ooh, it's hot. And I thought I would not be able to find a shady spot on the Malecón, and I lucked out because I found this little shady spot near the steps of the Los Arcos Amphitheater, which are just right over there. There's my finger. And again, it's Puerto Vallarta in the middle of the summer. You'd think that people are not here, but there are people here. Of course, people should know better than to be walking out and about in the middle of the day, as I am, but that's okay. I'm just gonna sit here for a few minutes and give you my impressions of what I see. I see that the city is tirelessly working on fixing all the imperfections that they let go slide over the past few months and years. Concrete steps are being fixed, and people are enjoying themselves despite the heat. You see, it's not so bad once you get used to it. Like right now, sitting in the shade, enjoying a breeze, it is actually quite lovely. The only thing that I'm missing is a cold beverage, but I am going to find that next. I think I'm going to relocate to the main plaza because I'm sure going to be likely to find a shady spot over there. And well, Starbucks is on the way, so maybe I will go and find myself a little iced coffee. Yes. Well, I have succumbed to Starbucks. And of course, I could be sitting inside, but I'm going to sit out here so that we can people watch together. This is the Starbucks that is located across from City Hall. And between Starbucks and City Hall is, of course, the main plaza. Let me tilt my camera just for a second to make a point. Whoop. There you go. Now, you cannot spend any time in Mexico, in any city, without spending some time at that city's main plaza, just to take in the atmosphere and to do a little bit of people watching. Every city is different and every plaza is different, but they all have the same purpose. To allow for people to gather, to people watch, to check out what's being sold. A lot of plazas have vendors. Puerto Vallarta is no exception. So this is always a fun place to stop and see what is happening. And of course, returning my camera back to the other position, this is the incoming traffic that will end up in Colonia Emiliano Zapata along Ignacio L. Vallarta. Oh, the coffee's good. It doesn't seem like a lot of traffic, but when you are in a vehicle, you realize all of a sudden that things are going slower and things are moving slower than usual. And this is because we do have more vehicles going back and forth through the city. But all is good. It is Thursday, as I mentioned, and I don't have a rush to get home. And I figured I would get some footage just to show you around, because, I don't know, Saturday I may have to do a pre-recorded broadcast if I'm not able to solve my Telmex issues.
Look, let's get from the road. What do you guys think?
Of course, Telmex issues have been solved. So here are some connection-related questions. If you live in Puerto Vallarta full-time, ask yourself, when was the last time that you came to the main plaza just to sit around and people watch? And if you are a regular visitor, ask yourself the same question. And if you are in town, you may answer, well, it's the middle of the summer. I don't want to be out there. And I'm going to tell you something. You are right. You don't want to be out in the middle of the city when it's so hot out there. But I'll also tell you something else. There's something that is difficult to describe, that is this wonderful feeling when you allow yourself a little bit of time to just sit around in the main plaza and take a look at the people walking by. You know, every time I read on social media, and this is going to sound like I am ranting, and maybe I'm ranting a little bit, but when I read on social media that Puerto Vallarta dies during the summer, that you shouldn't be here during the summer. That's not true. Puerto Vallarta is full of life, full of sweaty life, that's for sure. But there are people everywhere. Okay, another camera switch just for the fun of it. Do, 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 do. So here's something you would be able to do if you crochet like I do. So here's my sweat rag, and here is my trusty Starbucks and Starbucks iced coffee, of course. And what I'm going to do is I wrap my sweat rag around it, and I let it get a little cooler. And once I let it get a little cooler, I put it on my forehead, and that gives a little bit of a break, just a little bit, but you know, it's better than nothing. And I'm back in the sun once again because I was way too close to the new Puerto Vallarta letters to not stop and take a look at people waiting in line, I may say. People wait in line to take their turn doing a selfie or a memory shot in front of the Puerto Vallarta letters. These, as you know, have just been repainted, and again, it's nice to see families taking turns, waiting for their opportunity to get their photo taken. And it's nice to see, you know, people lending their their camera or their iPhone or whatever camera they're using to other people, sometimes strangers, to take photos. You know me, I'm a little paranoid about my equipment. I would never release my camera to someone I don't know, but that's just jaded old me. But it's nice to see what goes on right here in the middle of the city. I'm almost done with my Frappuccino, and it's almost time to head back home to strategize, to put together content for tomorrow, and to figure out just how many minutes of footage I captured today. I know this is not a walking tour. It is not a walk around. This is more, I'm going to walk from one place to another, set up my camera, my iPhone actually, on my mini tripod and capture what I see. And I like what I see, you know. It's the summertime, it's hot, and I'm gonna be very unhappy sitting here in the sun if I stick around many more minutes, but I'm still just grateful for the opportunity of giving myself the time to come and see the Malecón every now and then and to remember why I'm here. Oh, I love it. He's taking a photo of her. He has an Insta360 camera that he's using to do the 360 video or photo, and it's sticking out of his bag. I love it. I just love it. Okay, enough about that. I think I'm signing out. Oh, she's not gonna take a photo of him. Love it. Okay, I'm really going, because as much as I'm enjoying standing here or sitting here, my butt is getting a little warm and my forehead is getting a little sweaty. So there you have it, a little glimpse of what Puerto Vallarta looks like this time of year. Happy to see that the Río Cuale Pedestrian Bridge is open to the public again. Happy to see the new Puerto Vallarta letters up close and personal. They are gorgeous. In fact, I will take a photo of them before I leave if there aren't too many people waiting. That's it. I'll see you soon. And that was as mundane as it gets. I had never done such a mundane video of the city. I usually bring my gimbal with me, but because I had been schlepping all the equipment for Coffee and Headlines, I didn't want to bring any extra footage. And I will just say for myself, sometimes I can be so hard on myself as to whether, like when I finished doing that video, I thought to myself, you know, I'm so hot, I'm miserable without internet. I must have been totally preachy and boring. And I thought it wasn't so bad. But if you hated it, do let me know. What's next? A quick look at your comments. Okay, here we are. Lots of happy Saturdays. I appreciate those. Lots of good mornings. Thank you very much. Michael, you have no idea. I am so happy to be home. As I said to a friend that inquired earlier, I said, I have coffee within reach on my right hand. I have Luna within reach of my left hand. It is Saturday morning. The sky was gray earlier, and it was just my perfect situation for a weekend. Let's see what we have. Yes, I saw this question. Have any of you traveled with blah blah cars? What was your experience? Hope okay to ask here. Absolutely okay, Dale. I have friends that swear by blah blah cars, and if you don't know what it is, it's people who have room in their car and they will take you other cities. So essentially you are paying a person you don't know, and I don't mean to sound this scary, but you're paying money. It's an application that lives on your phone. You find out who's going to, let's say if I'm going to Guadalajara, I look for departures going to Guadalajara, and it shows you a list of people that happen to be driving to Guadalajara on the day that you're going. And it's up to you to decide to go with that person. And essentially you are taking a ride with someone. This someone is someone that you don't know. I know that, again, friends have enjoyed the experience. I personally, you know, I don't go that way, and it's going to be silly, and you can laugh with me if you want. I pee. You know, I need to know that if I'm going by bus, I can get up from my seat and I need to go wee-wee. I need to be able to go wee-wee. And if I'm driving with someone and someone needs to stop the car, I want to have the trust on that someone to not be a nuisance and say, hey, can you stop because number one is calling. And somehow the idea of doing this with someone I don't know makes me feel uncomfortable. But again, that's just me. If your bladder is bigger than Pennsylvania, or you like that kind of adventure, by all means, give BlaBlaCar a shot. And if anybody else has experience with BlaBlaCar, please feel free to share it. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Thank you for all the feedback. Sometimes the problem can be at my end. Sometimes it can be your own service provider. But I'm happy to look for these things whenever I can. Let's see. Then there's a lot of comments from when we were walking together. Yes, there is water flowing on the river right now, which is beautiful. Yes, I know it's been a while, Christy, between Telmex and the heat. But it was, it really felt good to be out and about. And I'll be the first to admit that sometimes I can get locked into my own routine and I forget to stretch my neck from time to time. I was glad that I did it. And yes, the bridge works as advertised. I mean, it's not slippery. It's which is essentially what we want, and it's looking good. La 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 la. See, that shows you that I don't get out often. I had no idea that tree trunk was there from the storms from last October. Shame on me. And then, Scott, I was glad to hear, I know that I asked you a question about your street because they've been working at paving it forever. And I know that you answered the question. There it is. Still a muddy lake by La Jolla Hospital. That is so unfortunate, Scott. It's crazy. It's been over 2 years now. I wish I could understand why that is, but unfortunately I don't. I love it around that plaza. There are lots of interesting sites. Devin, for me, it's, wherever I go in Mexico, I have to go to the plaza and I have to go to the market. It's just part of my personal ritual. Let's see what else. Oh, this is almost making me blush because it's almost sexy. This is so wonderful. You are letting me lay in bed in a Saturday morning and travel to my glorious Puerto Vallarta. Sean, thank you. That is such a sweet thing. Thank you very much. Then there were questions about air conditioning on the buses. Sometimes they turn it on. Sometimes they don't. I don't know if it has to do with economy malfunctioning or whatever. But more than once have I waited for an air-conditioned bus to come by. Let's see. Purum pum pum, purum pim pim. I go to Lázaro Cárdenas Park all the time to just sit and watch. Also upon the Isla Cuale. Great in the shade, even in the summer. Absolutely agree. And you remind me of a great short story that I'm going to tell, Sean, with your comment. I wish there was a permanent plaza cam that we could watch 24/7. There used to be out of a burger joint on the Malecón. And I remember when I was still living in Boston, I would look at it every day. And I would think to myself, I've never been to that city, but soon enough, I'm going to be living there. And I remember that shortly after I came to Puerto Vallarta 22 years ago, I stood in front of that webcam and I thought to myself, there might be somebody watching that is in my shoes, wondering if this city is for them or not. And so I figured I would close my own circle by standing there for a few minutes. I think there are some webcams out there, Sean. I don't have the memory of them right now. I think Cuates y Cuetes has a webcam. I'm sure there are webcams to be found. Let's see. Let's There's another Q. I'm so happy they didn't spell Puerto Vallarta wrong. Oh, Chris. I know I've seen some typos here and there, but you know, it's the big letters, dude. Let's have some faith in the system. Ah. Oh, thank you for that, Karen. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. You know, I'm looking at it myself. It reminds me of the good and the bad of making my Versailles La Vena neighborhood, you know, so much of a daily habit that I don't venture out elsewhere as much as I could or should. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. For me, it was a great reminder that I need to stretch my legs. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Ha! Mundane is my life. Thank you for that. Thank you for your feedback. Oh, thank you, Dev. Didn't hate it at all. I love it. Here's another cue. Thank you for the tour. We loved it. Robin Holly from Chicago. Robin Holly, thank you for watching. Much appreciated. While we are in Chicago, it was good to see what's going on. Love that the ankle thirsty bricks are gone. Well, you know, they're still there at the beginning and the end of the bridge, and I suppose they're going to replace them at some point. But pretty much the whole thing is now repaved. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. So many good wishes from you. I am so grateful. Boom. And you are correct, Sean. The city gives a lovely free walking tour starting in the plaza. The last time I took it, the tour guide was a considerably older man who was an altar boy in his youth. He gave us all the gossip. Oh my goodness, that sounds interesting. And with that said, I think we are good to go. Yes, we are. We finished the third of 3 very crazy weeks. I am so grateful that things are back to normal, and it's great to see you this morning. And I hope you will have an amazing rest of the weekend. I'm going to continue resting and catching up with projects, this, that, and the other. So have a good one, and I'll see you again Monday morning. Be well.